you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we're super happy to have you here. And if you've been listening and enjoying for a while, I would be super grateful if you would please take a moment to give us a review on Apple Podcasts. It's one of the best and simplest ways to pay it forward and help others find the show so that they too can tap into the powerful perspectives and positive vibrations we are collectively emanating. The other unique and magical way to share this show is by sending any friends you think would benefit from listening to this podcast our Game with the Universe link at positivehead.com/game. Also listed in the show notes, which will serve them up a quote-unquote random episode when they click it. Just instruct them before clicking the link to close their eyes for a moment and sincerely ask the universe to cue up the episode that contains the insight and perspectives that they most need to hear at this point in their life journey, and then click to listen to whatever episode is synchronistically served up to them. I have heard time and time again from people about the incredible results they received playing the game. So just tell your friends magical results are guaranteed or their karma back. All right, all you positive heads, welcome. Here we go again. Glad to be back with you all. Let's see, what shall we talk about today? Well, I'm definitely going to talk about some things, that's for sure. To give you just a little hint, and just letting the cat out of the bag a little bit here. We're going to talk about things, some stuff, some whatnots. We're going to talk about happy trails to you, or something like that. I'm excited to be back. Can't you tell? Let's see. Before I dive into today's topic, I would like to take a moment to read a review on iTunes. You guys know I love my iTunes reviews. Not only do they help us to reach new people, but they also most certainly fuel my fire to continue this labor of love. And so if you haven't taken the time to review on iTunes, would definitely appreciate it if you did. And this one came in by Kate the Great. Kate said, Brandon, with a lot of O's and N's. I am so grateful I have come across your podcast. My sister Vanna and I listen to you every day. She lives in Temecula, California, but that doesn't stop us from messaging and calling each other every day to discuss things that we learn when we listen to you. We say your name like you are our personal friend. You are helping us grow so much, and I am so grateful to be right here, right now, writing this review. Thank you. Aw, thank you, Kate. And Temecula is not even that far away from where I am at currently, and where even closer to where I'm going to be, the Mystic Manor you guys have heard me talking about, coming soon to a magical Venice Beach, California near you. And I thought by now I would have sort of all the details out for you guys for the retreat experiences I'm going to be offering there. Of course, we're going to be shooting the new show Optimistic. Spelled MYSTIC. I always feel like I need to clarify that because it's so cool. If you just hear optimistic, you think of the normal spelling, right? So that's the tricky thing about always having plays on words. You got to really paint the picture, and I don't have the visual element to do it. But so going to be shooting the new late night style talk show Optimistic out of the property, where we're going to have a live audience. So Kate, maybe you and your sister Vanna. The great thing, not everyone's going to be able to come for the retreat experience over the time period of June 2019 to June 2020. We're going to have 2 people a week, so 74 over the course of a year. And but especially for those that live somewhat close by, you can come for the live tapings. We're going to have tickets to the live tapings of the show, so probably about 20 or so seats for the live taping. And I would love to see you and Vanna to come and be at least get the experience of the live taping. Not to say you couldn't still come to the retreat too, right? But all those details are coming out next week. I've been saying that for a few weeks now, but we're getting really, really close to having all the pieces of the puzzle put together for you guys. And for those of you who are interested and hadn't heard about it yet, you can drop me an email, Brendan@positivehead.com, and I'll make sure you get, the initial email announcement, because there will be limited spots for the retreat experience, like I said. And I know quite a few of you have reached out to me already, and I haven't responded back to most of you yet, just waiting for the big push, if you will, the send out, letting you all know at once what's going on as the details come to light. So yes. So I'm so excited about all this, guys. This is going to be like such a next level experience, what we're going to co-create together. So stay tuned. Coming soon. More details. Otherwise, on to today's topic. I want to talk about giving your power away. So many of us sensitive people, it's bubbled up in the last week or so with my sister, who is just the most sweet, sensitive, creative type person, such a sweet, loving soul, but, can sort of be meek, I guess you could say. We're definitely quite different in some regards. I think back to my grandmother the same way. She's just such a beautiful, incredible soul and influence in my life. And she got walked all over a lot because she would give her power away. And, it's something that not only do people do in their day-to-day personal lives, but they also do it on a big scale with feeling very disempowered with what's going on in the world and the powers that be, the people behind the curtain pulling the strings. I have no authority or way to make a difference. The political system is rigged, and who am I and what can I do? And that is really just a big misconception. And we talk about on the show, as I always say, the answer is always the same, coming back to realizing that you are so empowered, that you actually are the center of your own private universe. And you guys have heard me talk about it before, where I sort of envision this as, sitting Indian style in a deep meditative trance is your higher self, and they're envisioning this whole reality, this whole experience for you. And everything in your reality is a prop in your movie, right? And you're the center point. So when, you think about making it, for example, it's definitely a leap of faith, doing this new show and putting myself out there with this big, production and all of these things, from one perspective. And a lot of times people talk about statistics of making it, quote unquote, and things like that. But when you understand that you're having your own private experience and you're the only one in the room and everything is a prop, well, if you don't make it, who will? You're the only one here from your perspective. You are a focal point of source consciousness, having your own private, profound experience. And everyone that's showing up in your movie, in your experience, is a reflection of you in some way. It's a prop in your movie. And so giving away your power to these props, right? The powers that be running the planet, the Illuminati, or the person at work, or my partner, or the friend down the street, anyone that you're giving your power away to, you're giving your power away to a prop in your movie. And it doesn't make sense to do that when you fully understand that you are so eternally empowered, but you've got to take that power. You've got to claim that power. You've got to know that you are empowered. You can't continue to sit on the back of a whale fishing for a minnow, not knowing that the whale is under you the whole time, right? And so it's such an important thing to start this process. Like Wayne Dyer said, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And I love that quote, because when you start realizing, hold on, there's infinite timelines, there's infinite potentials and versions of me from this moment forward. So I get to choose which one I step into with my beliefs and the stories that I'm telling about how empowered or disempowered I am. And knowing that everything's going to show up as a reflection of that core belief, that core vibrational emanation that you're emitting to your private universe, your YO universe, right? That's how it's all showing up. And, quick side note for those of you who, have heard me talking about this idea of, your higher self is sitting there meditating and dreaming and envisioning this whole experience. I think subconsciously where I originally got that, I just realized I watched a movie that I highly recommend. hadn't seen in a long time. And I watched it again with my son last week, and I was like, oh, wow, maybe this is where I originally got that visual imagery from, the movie The Fountain. I don't know if you have ever seen The Fountain or have heard of The Fountain. If not, highly, highly recommend it. It is such a beautiful, poetic depiction of a soul's journey over 1,000 years, and how, like lifetimes, and how they unfolded, and how they, this being dealing with death, and very spiritual, very poetic, very visually stunning. Highly, highly recommend it. But there's a scene in that where that sort of thing happens. He snaps out of a life into this expanded consciousness, and super, super powerful, underrated movie in my, in my view. And of course, I think for a lot of people, I could see why maybe it wouldn't be, as popular as Men in Black or something, really more mainstream, because not everyone probably got it, right? But definitely you guys will appreciate The Fountain. I think most of you will really love it. So check that out. But like I said, and like the song's going to say that I'm going to play at the end, the answer is always the same. You hold the power. Stop holding your breath for, what are they going to do to me? What are the powers that be going to do to me? What is this? How am I going to let someone walk all over me again? When you start realizing like this idea that, hold on, it's all malleable, it's all make-believe, and I'm the maker and the made, the creator and the created, are all rolled into one. And I can start shifting out of fear-based perspectives where I'm disempowered and start telling a new story where I'm super empowered. So I strongly encourage each of you to look and examine your life, examine your normal habitual patterns and your normal thought patterns, your physical activities, your interactions with people in your life, as well as your thoughts about things outside of yourself. Quote unquote, outside of yourself. Haha. Yeah, right. Everywhere you go, you're there waiting for yourself, right? And so think about and really examine, where am I disempowering? What story am I telling that I'm disempowering myself? And let's start rooting this stuff out like a virus. It's a computer virus. You are a biological computer in a sense. Let's start rooting out this virus of disempowering perspectives on what's going on. And one of them that you hear about is, like a lot of conspiracy theory stuff. One that just is just one of many that you hear about is like the idea of like chemtrails, right? And I saw a clip that I'm going to play here in a moment. This is just a great example, right? Where someone asked Bashar about chemtrails. And for those of you who don't know, Bashar is a teacher who, a guy named Daryl Anka claims to channel an ET entity. Don't know if it's true or not. Don't really care. The information's what's important to me. What I find fascinating is his information is always epic from my perspective. So I tend to believe something magical is going on. But doesn't really matter either way. The information is epic. And this is actually, I'll go ahead and play the clip now. This is Bashar. I found it on the Bashar channeled by Daryl Anka YouTube page. And it's called Bashar, What Are Chemtrails? Is the title. Take a listen.
Okay, one more question?
Yes.
From up there, you must have noticed all the chemtrails being sprayed all over our globe.
From time to time.
My question is, I'd like to know why. I don't know if it's they think they're doing this with good intention or if they're really just trying to kill us all.
They, in some sense, are under the misguided impression that they need to do certain things in a certain way to balance out the climate of your planet. But the idea is that they're actually putting a lot more poisons in the air because they're not necessarily using the substance that would actually work. Gold.
Atomic gold?
Yes. If they were to use that, it would actually balance out the climate of your planet with absolutely no ill side effects whatsoever. But because you value the idea of the gold in a completely different way, you hoard it in that sense and don't use it in these kinds of circumstances where it would actually be of benefit to your entire global climate pattern. Now, much of what you're experiencing is, in a sense, a natural cycle, although it has been exacerbated by many of the things that the people on your planet have done technologically. But the idea of warming and cooling cycles on your planet are natural and periodic. The idea, however, is that you can balance them out much more smoothly by approaching them with an appropriate form of technology, which you're not doing. So in a sense, they sort of think they're trying to balance some of these things out, but like many of the things you think improve your life, they're highly toxic. Yes?
Yes.
All right. Now, there are other things connected to this, but we don't go into those. We are staying on the level of the idea of expressing the direct technological connection and effects, and we are not at this point of a mind to deal with any other particular intentions that might be connected to this scenario. All right?
Okay.
Do you wish to remain in a negative world?
No.
Then we will not reinforce that negativity. You see, this is a very interesting paradoxical use of power. The idea is that many people on your planet have a very strong control of information. They have first and foremost used that control of information to make it appear as if they actually control more than they do. So the idea is that when individuals, and again, it doesn't mean that you should not be aware that individuals may have negative intentions, but when many individuals go to the extremes of starting to look into what you call conspiracy theories, and they assign these powers, these abilities to do the things that you're all afraid they can do to these people, you are thus then giving them that ability. So the great, I'll just say it this way, the great joke from those people attempting to give you that impression is that the people that are attempting to be whistleblowers are actually their greatest advertisers. Because they make people believe that they actually have the ability to do more than they do. And that's the joke. So lighten up on yourselves. Don't give them the power, and you will shift your vibration to a parallel reality in which they don't even exist eventually. All right?
That'd be very nice.
That's how you change the world. You don't change the world you're in. You change yourself through your actions, through your knowingness, through your energy, through your behaviors, and you shift yourself to a parallel world that's already more reflective of the world that is representative of the change you've made in yourself. Does that help?
Yes, it does.
Then happy trails to you.
Before we continue on with today's episode, I'd like to take a minute to tell you about the exclusive Dream Builder live virtual event from January 27th to 29th. If all it took was 3 short days to turn your life around, would you feel and have the courage to do so? If so, then you won't want to miss best-selling author Mary Morrissey and her team of all-stars who will show you how to break all the rules, feel more confident, and set yourself up for enormous abundance. You'll discover how to build a new, supremely confident you in 3 short days. Super powerful beyond what you dreamed possible. Learn how to rewire your subconscious mind with tools of spiritual manifestation, raising your vibration so powerfully that life rearranges itself to help your dreams come true. Plus, you'll discover the #1 secret to achieving the fabulous new life you and everyone deserves, so you can enjoy more happiness, more wealth, more joy in every area of your life. Go to bti.com/positive and register for your free tickets with a reimbursable deposit today. This touches on things that, there's so many things that it touches on. Pretty short clip there, but, he talks about many things that we think are helpful are toxic. Right. And vice versa. So, it can be, I think of instantly when he was saying that, I think of like health related issues. You hear, coffee is good, coffee is bad. So what I've found is if you start in, Wayne Dyer actually used to talk about this as well. If you tune into what you're feeling pertaining to a certain thing, just to use that food example, coffee actually may be good for you and not so good for the person next to you based off of who they are, where they're at in their journey, what their physical, unique physical, makeup is, and that sort of thing. So I think the most important thing that we can do is like for some of these smaller decisions, like, what is toxic, what isn't, tuning into you and where you're at and your own intuitive knowledge. You have access to all the answers for yourself, right? And certainly let's not take an answer, a popular answer that's out there that is disempowering, and then reinforce it. And that's really what he's talking about primarily here. He said the big joke is with the people who are in control is that it's the whistleblowers and the people against them who actually help to empower them, right? What better of an endorsement, right, than someone who's supposedly against you, who is professing fearful things about what it is that you do and how powerful you are, right? And how intimidating you are. Well, you instantly, if someone sees or hears that and thinks, okay, this person isn't like BSing us. They're actually not for that person. But it makes a lot of sense, right? These repeated, activities of beating in the drum of something that is disempowering is in fearful doesn't help at all. And when you start to realize that you can change yourself by changing your world, it's like, Mother Teresa talking about when they asked her to march against the war in Vietnam. She said, I'll never do that, but have a march for peace and I'll be there. And this is a big one. A lot of people struggle with this whole idea of, the outrage of some of the things that go on. And I always say find before something and against nothing. Right. And when you understand that it's all happening in divine order, you can put down the judgment about something that's apparently ugly, and it doesn't mean that you want to support it. Absolutely not. But you don't want to support it by giving it, what you resist persists, what you accept you move through, right? So if you don't want something, give it none of your energy and find a way to put your energy positively in something that sort of, supports the dissolution of what it is you're not really for, right? That's the way, by building a new reality by being for something like Buckminster Fuller talked about. He said, you never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, build a new model that makes the existing model obsolete. That's how we disempower these old, control mechanisms that are out there, not by, giving all this fearful energy, feeding the beast, if you will, right? And I know that conspiracy theory sort of trap was one that a lot of people get caught in on this path to self-realization and coming back into remembering the ultimate nature of reality. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that today, and it seemed appropriate. And obviously it wanted to bubble up today for some reason. So those of you out there on your trails, make them happy trails, right? Happy trails to you. This one is, I do have a song to leave you with, guys, today, and it is by Wookiefoot, and it's called Don't Hold Your Breath. Hope you enjoy. Until next time, happy trails to you.
Just going up and around. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe it in, breathe it out. Feel the breath within the breath. Take it in and take it down underground. Feel the rhythm slowing down to the speed of sound. Worry will not take away your trouble tomorrow. Only take away your peace today. Worry will not take away your pain, your sorrow. Bring it back to the breath and it can all melt away. Give out, give in, give out. No longer looking outward for what lies inside. No need to ever cut or sever what can be untied. How in the world does it change? does it change? The answer always seems to be the same. The answer always seems to be the same. Don't hold your breath. Let it out, let it in, let it out. Less and less I'm thinking, more and more, and for sure now more and more I'm thinking, less and less, no stress. Bring it in, bring it out, bring it in, bring it out. It's so simple that it's easy not to see or believe, but you're exactly where you need to be, so just breathe. Worry will not take away your trouble tomorrow, only take away your peace today. Worry will not take away your pain, your sorrow. Bring it back to the present, it can all melt away. How in the world does it change? How in the world does it change? The answer always seems to be the same. The answer